Welcome on the Kaiju no Kami here, Denver Comic Con 2018. I'm here with comic author David Pepose. Welcome. Are you enjoying yourself?
I'm loving it here. Denver has been amazing so far, and our sales have been phenomenal.
So you're selling a lot of books?
Oh my gosh, this is the best sales we've ever done at a con. I brought 75 trades with me, and I sold through more than half of them on the first day. My poor long-suffering girlfriend has actually been FedExing me reinforcements to make sure we don't sell out too early.
So was it just unexpected of how well it's selling?
You know, I really love the community here in Denver. This is actually my first time here in the city, and people had told me how great this con was. And you know, there are certain conventions that are more about multimedia, entertainment, things like San Diego Comic-Con, for example. And so you come to these cons sometimes with managed expectations, and Denver has really blown it away. I mean, I think it's a real community of comics fans out here, people who love to read, and it's fantastic. It's so refreshing and so inspiring.
Yeah, it is amazing at how huge the comic industry is out here. There's always great artists and authors coming out to visit. Mile High Comics often does all these events throughout the year with them. And you said this is your first time in Denver. Have you gotten to explore it all?
Oh, no, it's been just con, hotel, sleep, and more con. Maybe next time, but so far what I've seen just going out for dinner, I love it. It's such an amazing city.
Have you had any issues with the altitude?
No, it's so funny you say that. My mother had warned me. She said, I always get dizzy when I come to Denver. And it might be just because I'm completely jet lagged still, flying in from Los Angeles. I don't feel dizzy at all. It just might be because I'm like half asleep. So I don't know.
Well, I know it seems to be different. Like when Krelika Kane and I first moved here, we moved here from Buffalo, New York in 2006. I had no issues with the altitude, but it took her over a month to get used to it.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, so far so good. I mean, I'm going to be hopping on a plane back tomorrow, so far no side effects, but we'll see when I touch down in LA how I feel.
Yeah, it could just be a delayed reaction.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So tell us about this comic series, Spencer and Locke.
Sure. Spencer and Locke, our easy logline is, what if Calvin and Hobbes grew up in Sin City? It's about a hard-boiled detective whose partner's his childhood imaginary friend. So I say it's a little True Detective, a little Fight Club, 100% love letter to classic Bill Watterson and Frank Miller. We've done really well with this book. We're so happy with the reception that we've gotten. We were on a bunch of Best of 2017 lists with it. We had actually gotten an option for a feature film. And so the reaction has been wonderful, and we're really excited to roll out our sequel later this year.
And tell us about, it looks like his partner's a panther?
Yeah, Spencer here. In fact, he comes with me to conventions. Spencer, you want to say hi? Yes, Spencer, he may look like a stuffed animal to the rest of us, but in Spencer and Locke, he's also a 7-foot-tall, talking blue panther detective. He is Locke's partner, his confidant, his conscience, and his best friend. And as we see, he is also a somewhat troubling symptom of a particularly harrowing home life. And that's really what Spencer and Locke is about. It's a murder mystery, but it's also sort of this going back home and going through your past and really facing your inner demons face to face and seeing who will come out on top.
And so like a film noir fan might enjoy this, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm a huge neo-noir fan in particular. Things like Brick. Memento is deep in this book's DNA. Memento is my all-time favorite movie, and so I wanted to make sure that my first book had a protagonist somewhat in that vein. And I mean, any noir fan, though, will love it. What's so great about this book is because we are inspired by Calvin and Hobbes, this parody is able to go places that traditional noir can't. So we not only have the requisite, fighting with henchmen and car chases, but we even have a trip to space with Rocket Man Reynolds. We have flashbacks with dinosaurs. And I promise the whole thing makes sense if you read it, but you got to read it to find out.
Dinosaurs.
Yes, dinosaurs. If they knew the extinction was coming, would they have done anything differently? That's a question that Locke asks himself when the chips are down.
Now, for villain fans, do you have any good villains in the book?
Oh, tons of villains. We wanted to make sure that we had a number of villains because that iconography of Calvin and Hobbes is so rich, and so we have a solid villain for every single issue. Locke's main adversary is going to be his father, Augustus Locke, who instead of being the suffering Bill's character type from Calvin and Hobbes, he's actually estranged from his family, left to become a crime lord. And so father and son on opposite sides of the law, they're going to be coming head to head, and the stakes are going to be very, very high.
That sounds exciting. Now, from my understanding, you said this is only 4 issues, but you have a sequel in the works.
We do. We have a sequel coming out. I can't go too deep into it yet. We are going to be announcing some news around San Diego Comic-Con that I'm very excited about. But what I can say is it's all about escalation, and it's all about consequences. Our first volume of Spencer and Locke, it's kind of an intimate psychodrama in a way. It's one investigation and played out through a man's extremely broken psyche. Our sequel is on a much larger scale. It is spread out across the city because Spencer and Locke are going to be facing an adversary who is bigger, stronger, faster, and meaner than them. So they're going to have to pull some rabbits out of their hat if they're going to want to survive.
That sounds cool. Now, can people buy these anywhere, or you only sell them at conventions? Can they buy them in stores, online?
Absolutely. We are distributed through Diamond, so you can get this book anywhere comics are sold. Your local comic shop, I always recommend people support them. You can get it through Amazon, Comixology, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Weirdly enough, we're on Target and Walmart's websites. So anywhere books are sold, you can order a copy of Spencer and Locke, and we really encourage anybody, because we're a smaller publisher through Action Lab Entertainment, and we live and die based on word of mouth. So we really encourage anyone who's interested, tell their comic shop, tell their bookstore, we want Spencer and Locke now.
And what inspired you to do a comic on your own without going to like big time publishers?
Sure. Well, this is my first book, and I've been on the outskirts of the comic scene for about a decade. I started as an intern at DC Comics, and then I was a comics journalist on my own at Newsarama. And there was a period of time where I was reading a lot of books that I wasn't connecting with. And there was that voice inside my head that said, well, maybe put your mouth where your money, or your money where your mouth is, and make something of your own. And I'm a big fan of mashup music. 9 Inch Nails meets Call Me Maybe. Weird combinations you wouldn't expect.
I'm a 9 Inch Nails fan.
Exactly. And so I thought, what if somebody did that for comics? And I thought, Frank Miller was kind of the first author that really stood out to me as a singular voice to me as a kid. And I thought, what would be the weirdest thing you could put up with Frank Miller? And as I went through sort of these ideas and combinations, when I thought of Calvin and Hobbes, the light bulb went off. And I realized, what's up with this kid's home life that he needs such a vividly imagined best friend? And what would that mean if he carried with him to adulthood? And once that question came out, there were a lot of answers that started trickling out, and that really formed the foundation of our story.
So what would you say to kids today that they want to be in the comic industry or think they do, but they're unsure they're going to succeed?
It's hard. It's absolutely hard. It's worth it. The thing is you should never wait for permission to create. If you are feeling strongly about a concept, if you're feeling strongly about a story, tell it. We are living in an age where you don't need a publisher. We were very fortunate that we got one. But if the execution is there, there's Kickstarters, there's Indiegogo, there's self-publishing. There's so many avenues to get your work out. And ultimately, if you believe in the concept and you execute it well, somebody else will latch onto it as well. So it's the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's also the most worth it.
And you also seem like you're having fun doing it.
Oh, I'm loving it. I love meeting new readers. I love coming up with new ideas. I love working with collaborators. Every time I get a new page in my inbox, it's like Christmas. So yeah, I tell everybody, I'm like, everybody should make a comic. It's amazing.
Do you have any social media links people could find you at?
Sure. You can find, well, first off, you can follow Spencer and Locke. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's just Spencer and Locke. And is spelled out. It's just one word. And you can follow me on Twitter. It's Pepose D. It's my last name and first initial.
Any final words for my viewers?
Just thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here in Denver, and I'm really excited to come back next year.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Until next time, bye.